Hello, my name is Nicole, and thank you so much for taking the time out to listen. Today, I titled this message, No More VIP. Oh, no more VIP. Is that what I think it is, Nicole? You mean to tell me that there is no more VIP for someone or for some group or even for me? Yes, that's what I'm saying. Some of you all, the Lord spoke to you a while back and he said that he wanted you to rid yourselves of some negative people, right? And you did just that. Those people no longer have the VIP seating in your life. And for others, this message is quite literal. They do not have VIP treatment anymore. They are not at the exclusive clubs. They are not in the front row seats. They don't have people around them waiting on them hand and foot. They can no longer afford the type of lifestyle that they had maybe 5, 10, 15 years ago. There is no more VIP. So if there is no more VIP, what exactly is going on? You see, because evidently, right, these people had some type of favor. You may have had some type of favor in someone's life. And then what is going on that you don't have that type of treatment anymore? I mean, they're not calling you or you're not calling them. They're not coming around and you're not coming around. You used to be the first to get the information about what was the latest scoop, and now that's not happening any longer. I mean, who is responsible for cutting off this VIP treatment? Well, when we look at this from a spiritual perspective, it's God. I know sometimes people like to blame the devil for why they don't have any favor any longer, but I got to tell you that God lately, he's been having his signature on a lot of things going on with these people who once had favorable treatment and now not any longer. And why would God do that? Well, sometimes what happens is that when we have VIP anything, we tend to esteem the people, the places, and the things. So much, in fact, that God does not have a place in our lives. Oh, yes. The very God that we were praying to, the very God that we were asking to be blessed by, is the same God that says, okay, sure, I want you to have these things, but remember me. And just as the Israelites didn't remember God in all of their idol worshiping and being rebellious, so too are many of these believers. Some of them once were believers, but not any longer. So you already know VIP treatment is not going to last for long. I used to believe, I used to trust in the Lord. I used to be able to bring people to the church. I used to be able to stand up there and sing and perform and do all sorts of services, but not any longer. Those people who we see where the trees are spoiled, yet they still say that they are all right and good with God. No, that's not what's taking place. And we are not to let the devil deceive us into thinking that we or others still got VIP treatment when that is not happening. These are the people who get the last information. These are the people who may not get any information at all when it comes to spirituality and kingdom business and what's about to go down right around the corner. These are people who God is not using his people to come and talk to them any longer because their pride, their ego, everything's in the way now. You may be one of them, but then again, maybe not. That's why we say people or they or others. And so VIP treatment declines. It's a gradual process for some, and then it's just like someone taking the rug right from up underneath their feet. It's just boom, suddenly there is no more special treatment. But what about my bills? What about this and what about that? What about it? We don't care. We just want you gone. Sometimes VIP treatment is taken away just because people just don't appreciate. They don't respect. They don't have any gratitude. They are assuming that people are always going to be there. They take advantage, right? Take people for granted. So he used to have a special place in his workplace where the boss was always looking out for him. He got the hookup and not any longer. She used to have a special place with her family, but not any longer, because this was said and that was done and whatever else. Sometimes the people who are giving the VIP treatment, the special favor and all of that, they're corrupt. Okay, let's just be honest. Not everybody is a good person who's giving VIP treatment to people. Okay, they're corrupt. And so God will move on a man, move on a woman to distance his or herself because they are simply corrupt. Meanwhile, they're thinking you are the problem, and that's not the case. They are corrupt. They are not good for what it is that God is doing in your life. You are moving on. You are growing. You got a lot of opportunity. You have some things that are taking place and you can't bring everybody along. There are those, though, who disagree. They say, well, depending on the title, this individual should have front and center. They should always have front and center. Well, because your relationship with the parent, the grandparent, the cousin, the guardian, the manager, or whoever is pretty good doesn't mean that that rule applies to everyone. You see, this is where you got those individuals who they don't know how to put themselves in other people's shoes. Sometimes we have given people VIP treatment for 20, 30, 40 plus years by the time they find out that those individuals no longer have a place in our lives. So then they want to bridge the gap. They want to say things like, you need to, you ought to, you should, and that is your, and you fill in the blank. But when God is at work, when God is responsible for cutting away, when God is the one that's taking favor away, we can't fight with that. We can't argue with that. I don't have it in me to give people VIP treatment that I once did. God took it away because he has me on such a mission where these people would be nothing more than distractions. They wouldn't be encouraging me. The Lord told me this. Matter of fact, the Lord said that he didn't even have a VIP place in their lives. This is why they had to go for some of them. Because if God doesn't have a VIP place in someone's life who claims to be a believer, he or she is not going to be that beacon of light for you. If anything, sooner or later, they are going to be nothing more than darkness, toxic, negative, pessimistic, whatever you want to label them as or describe them. They are not going to be beneficial. I wanted to keep that red carpet out. I wanted to keep certain individuals in the front seat, but the Lord had me on so many different projects and I needed complete 100% attention, focus on what he was telling me. I could not have people's voices all around me, especially during a time of loss. Some people have lost mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers. Other people have lost money. Other people have lost marriages. Other people have lost children. They are having a lot of burdens all around them. Do you really want to give VIP treatment to people who are not doing anything more than being energy draining, burdensome, when God has you in a different direction? You may have given them VIP treatment before. You were hand holding, you were mentoring, you were counseling, you were doing all of that. Can I tell you that those days do expire? That we are not to keep holding people's hands, especially the same old people, for long, when God is moving us to hold somebody else's hand now, to do something different. If I got God in VIP seating, just picture that. You have this light, if you will, that, because we don't know what God looks like. So just picture a light, if you will, that is shining up the front row seats of a concert hall. And this light is magnificent. It is great. It is even shining on you. It is encouraging. It is loving. It is peaceful. It is kind. Do you really want to move that light off in the background somewhere and replace it with empty seats that are dark? Of course not, right? It's a simple example, but you feel me. You understand where I'm coming from. You don't want to do that. If I'm getting something from this entity that we call God, I'm not about to tell him, oh, you go in the back and let me put mama and daddy and grandma and cousins and everybody else in the front row seat. Didn't they have those seats, right? For some of you all for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 plus years. God reminded me of that. He said that don't listen to those who want you to put those VIP cars out all over again. Don't listen to those who want you to bridge gaps and all of this other stuff. I didn't put you on that mission. You already gave people in your life VIP treatment. It's already been done. That's the past. We aren't supposed to be looking back. The Christian is always looking forward. The Christian is always looking for what is it, God, that I'm supposed to do next after a project is complete. I finish Face Your Foe on confronting the critics. And then I ask the Lord, okay, what am I supposed to do next? When I finish, say goodbye to dad and tell me, mother, you're sorry. Okay, Lord, what am I supposed to do next? And at the time when I was writing those books, I had a relationship. I had a relationship with everybody. It wasn't just my mother and father. It was everybody. But then as time went on, the Lord spoke to me and he said, this isn't going to take place any longer. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be talking to these people. He said, no, because where I'm taking you, I don't want their voices in your head. Now, some of you all who are psychologists and counselors and so forth, you know about those voices and you know that those voices have to be reprogrammed. You have to listen to all sorts of affirmations, right? To be able to get the negative out. And for me, there was a lot of that was going on. I had already played the counselor. I had already played the daughter. I had already played the servant. I had already played the worker. I had already played the contributor. I had been all these different things. I had already played those parts. Those people had VIP treatments. And now God, he said, okay, it's time for you to give me VIP treatment. So I said, okay. And when I said, okay, the blessings have been coming ever since. You see, for some of you all, the reason why the blessing stopped is because you no longer made God front and center in your life. You no longer gave him the VIP pass. Instead, you gave all those other people the VIP pass. Some of you all, you prayed, you hoped, you wished for a husband. God gave you a husband. Now you give him the VIP pass. You give his family members the VIP pass. But when you get that call from God to go to church, you what? You don't answer the call. When he tells you to put some money in somebody's bank account, you say, no, I'm not doing that. But yet you got money, though, to give to toxic people, negative people, people who you know are not even right with the Lord. When the Lord speaks to you and he tells you to do something that seems a bit odd, a bit strange, okay, something like an Ezekiel kind of ministry, and you are very guarded, you can't lose yourself, because part of this walk as a believer is you got to lose yourself. You can't remain who you are at times. You've got to lose yourself. And part of losing yourself is allowing the Lord to work in and through you, around you, and everything else. And if you're unwilling to do that, then you miss out. VIP goes far, far beyond what some people imagine VIP to be. VIP is allowing the Lord full access to your life. If you are told that you have VIP anything, you expect full access, don't you? You expect appetizers, you expect entertainment, you expect comfortable seating, you expect to meet possibly a celebrity or two. Well, the Lord, he's like, well, if I got VIP access in your life, I want it all. I want full access. And some of you all, you're like, full access? Even to think about that, that means I got to give up something. Exactly. Exactly. If you wanted VIP access to a special sporting event, you give up your time, wouldn't you? To see your idols. If you were given VIP passes to go see a celebrity, you would give up your energy, your time. And if there was a small fee involved, you would give that up too, wouldn't you? And that celebrity would have full access to you, and you would have full access to them. At least in that moment. That means that I get to take pictures with the celebrity. I get to talk to the celebrity. I get to sign papers and all this good stuff. Yay. Right? Or the celebrity, I should say, is providing autographs and so forth. Okay? Sometimes deals are made out of arrangements like this. Well, God, He wants full access. And when we don't give Him full access, that's when we have problems. That's when we stagnate our growth. That's when we miss out on blessings. That's when we look around and we can't seem to get along with this one and that one. That is when we end up wishing and hoping for other things. And the Lord says, I'm not giving you other things because, once again, I need VIP access in your life. You trying to get a new house. You trying to get a new car. You're trying to build up a relationship and all of that, when I'm giving you simple directives and you keep failing. I told you turn off that television. You didn't want to listen. I told you to stop going over there talking to that woman. You didn't want to listen. I told you to stop answering that phone call from your past. You didn't want to listen. I told you to stop going on the internet sites, looking up this one and that one, and you still didn't want to listen. What more do I have to do? And some people still sitting around here, this message is going over their heads, still believing that they okay and they all right with the Lord. I'm seeing it in the spirit. The only thing that's going to happen with some of these folks that don't want to give VIP access to the Lord, but yet they claim Lord, Lord, and they use Him, okay, for certain situations, is when they're in serious trouble, they're going to have trouble getting out of it. That's when they'll realize that they have not given the Lord undivided attention, is when the Lord is not giving them undivided attention in their prayers. Last time I prayed and I was okay. I was all right. This time I pray, I'm struggling. This time I'm hoping for something and it's not coming through. Yeah. And you know what they do? They end up becoming bitter and angry with the Lord, some of these people, instead of realizing that you got some unconfessed sin from way back. You still don't have a repentant heart. You still blaming everyone for what's wrong with you. And until you get to that humbling place where you finally say, Abba, Father, where you finally bow down and just say, okay, Lord, I give up. I'm going to stop fighting you and fighting the people of God. You're going to keep on going through. No more VIP, some of you all. No more VIP for those individuals who continue to give you drama. That means we're not answering the phone anymore. That means we're not going over there. And they're not coming to us. There is no more being available to listen to people's problems. If anything, we are to be on the move and looking out for those people who God wants in our lives. Some people are not doing that. They're too busy looking at the past. They keep going back. They keep wishing for old times. We're moving forward. People are changing. People are growing. Life is getting at times a bit more challenging. We cannot afford to be doing things like we did in the past. We can't afford to be looking at people from the past. We can't afford to be going back there where there's trouble, where there's difficulty, where there's foolishness. We know more now. We're growing. We are getting ourselves up out of the trouble that we were once in. We are fixing some things. We are building some things up. Who has time to be giving VIP treatment to people who are not on board? Some of you all are in marriages and the people are not on board. Your partner is saying things like, that's not what I want to do. I don't want to be a part of that. And all. Well, then if we can't work together, then you are not a part of this new life. If we can't get it together, you might as well just say goodbye. Some of you others, I want to bring my friend along. Okay, so you bring them along. They go to church one time and then they don't come back. We don't have time for people like that. You sowed the seed. Let's keep it moving. Wishy-washy Christians, wishy-washy believers, unbelievers that are just curious, people that don't want to stick anything out, stick to task, people who don't want to fix anything, people who don't believe that they're broken. Look, VIP treatment is a no-no for them. And for some of you all, you know that you're not in VIP treatment because you fit what I just mentioned. Let's just humble ourselves, right? And see things for what they really are. Years ago, I had to see it. And not only that, God used people to tell me the truth. And it was okay for them to talk to me about my devilish self and my sinful ways and my ugly self and my negative attitude. It was okay for them to bring all of that to my attention. But when God got a hold of me and there were changes, let me tell you, they didn't want that light shining on them. Wait a minute. But yet they wanted VIP treatment. They wanted to ride on my blessings. They wanted to get some things from me because they could see that God was working. And the Lord said, see, this is why I told you, you're going to have to let some people go. And I fought with the Lord on it. There was times he would talk to me and I would be like, I'm still going to pick up the phone. I'm still going to go there. No, I think this is nothing but the devil. The Lord said, I'm trying to free you. And all you can do is keep making excuses as to why you want to be around toxic folk. All you can do is keep making excuses as to why you want to keep going back and keep going back. The Lord said, I am bringing you up out of some things. Don't you see that? Okay, you know what? Hey, I gave you the speech. I gave you the people who could minister to you. I even gave you scripture and I gave you past examples and you still want to do this. And so he took his hands off of me. When he took his hands off of me, let me tell you what happened. Number one, it was increased illness. Number two, it was loss of income. Number three, it was feeling a void in my heart because people who I thought loved me really wasn't loving me, but was using me. It was having unplanned babies. Okay. It was living the kind of lifestyle that was subpar. I got a message and it may be up by the time this message is up, or it may not be, but it will be up, talking about bound to a cheap lifestyle. Okay. God had greater and I wasn't interested in a greater. I was interested in what was familiar. And so being that I was interested in what was familiar, I gave people VIP full access to my life. They were up close and personal with me for years. And those that were on the outside looking in, I didn't mind bringing them in. And then when they saw some things, some of them, they skedaddled. They got out. They were like, bye-bye, see you. This is too much. Others stuck around and they became corrupted. I'm just being honest. That's what happens when you make up in your mind, you think that you know more than God. That's what happens when you believe that you are your own God. No VIP for the Lord. And the Lord said, yes, and no VIP for you. I mean, we're talking about hearing from the Lord from the time I woke up, and then during the day hearing some things, and then at nighttime hearing from the Lord. And then there was a long drought season. And I felt empty again. I felt a void. And that's when I made some foolish decisions. It's not worth it. When God tells you he doesn't want you giving VIP access to anyone but him, listen. Even if he doesn't tell you, but you can clearly see from the fruit on your tree and other people's tree that they shouldn't be having access and you shouldn't be having access, just do it. How long do you have to keep arguing with people? How long do you have to keep speaking truth to people? How long? How long do you have to keep walking with folks and telling them how you feel? And they still don't want to change. How long? Okay, well, you know what? I have listened to what you had to say, and I have done as much as I possibly could to help you. And so at this point, there's nothing more that I can do. And then that's when you take your VIP passes back. They don't get to find anything out other than whatever it is that the Lord wills for you to say to them. And then eventually the Lord will tell you to stop talking. The Lord will tell you to start making plans to distance yourself. The Lord will tell you that you got some other work that you need to be doing. And so you are focused on that work. And then eventually that person fades away, or that group. And what is your excuse? I'm busy. And that is the truth. You're busy. And you will stay busy because God is not going to have you be idle so that you can go right back to giving toxic folks VIP access to your life. So for some of you all who was wondering why the favor's not there, and for others who were wondering why some of your family members just aren't all up in your face like they used to be. You got to understand, it's not always about the devil. And some of you all need to just stop, because the Lord, he's whipping some folks because they want to keep giving credit to the devil. And they don't even realize it, but they are being whipped because their mouths keep running saying that the devil got my daughter, the devil got my son, and you know that's not what's going on. Or the devil got my husband or whatever. And meanwhile, it's the distance. It's the distance that's being created by the one true God himself, because either that person is toxic or you're toxic, or it's a corrupt situation all across the board. Or it's just one of those where everybody is so busy doing so many different things. There is no more VIP passes being passed out. Okay, there's some cost saving measures in place. There's so many different reasons as to why people are going through, but I wanted to hit up on the main reasons for many believers as well as unbelievers and backsliders and so forth. No VIP. It's over. It was nice. Some folks say, I'm still waiting on my VIP. And you will keep waiting until you are where you can be mentally, physically, and spiritually, where you can handle VIP. Because everybody else that got VIP, we forgot about God. And some people say, well, it won't happen to me. Yeah, we all said the same thing. And lo and behold, it happens to them. They sell their souls. They sell out. They're out there doing any number of things with this one and that one. They say they're going to be about it. They ain't about it. They ain't about faith. They ain't about love. They're not about peace, prosperity, walking with the one true God. None of it. They just like to tell themselves that's what they're doing because it makes them feel good. But that is not what's going on with these people. And you can compare scripture to their lifestyle. Galatians chapter 5. And some of these people, you got to walk with Ephesians 6 dealing with them because they got so many demonic spirits they done picked up. Oh, she used to be a believer back in the day. He used to be all right with the Lord. But then you get around them and you can feel the tension. And then you say to yourself, even though they may be extending some VIP treatment to you, you say to yourself, I don't think I want to stay here for too long. I mean, I appreciate the red carpet treatment. I appreciate all that this person has done, but I don't want to come back here again. Because there's something funky in the atmosphere. I mean, it's a beautiful home, or it's a beautiful, whatever, event. Very nice. But it's just something not right. That's because the devil is working with some people. The devil can look beautiful too. The devil can spend a lot of money and make things look quite wonderful, quite delightful. The devil can serve you food. And you can get indigestion too. That's why we don't break bread with everyone. And then when you do break bread, you're supposed to say your grace. And I'll tell you, sometimes I forget. And then as a result, my stomach starts hurting too. And then there's some foods that we're not even supposed to eat at all. The Lord moves on our spirit and says, that's not good for your body. It might be good for hers, but it's not good for yours. And so you go into these little VIP establishments, 5-star, whatever, and you're thinking that you got something that's really good, and it turns out to be nothing more than a problem. Because the enemy's not just going to attack you externally, he's going to attack you internally. And he will get you to a place where, yeah, you'll get some VIP treatment, all right there in the hospital room. And that's where some people are headed because they refuse to listen. They refuse to break free from their toxic mentality. They refuse to disconnect from toxic people. They refuse to establish boundaries. Maybe they can't disconnect from some people, but they can establish boundaries. But nope. Instead, they let people walk all over them, say whatever, be disrespectful, act ugly. And so they reap. They reap because they do not listen to the one true God or to the people of God. So no more VIP, right? And if you are that one that's experiencing unfavorable treatment, take all of your burdens over to the Lord and ask the Lord to help you. I thank you as always for taking time out of your busy schedule to listen. You've been listening to YouTube NM Enterprise 7. Subscribe today. If you haven't subscribed, you're missing out. So you want to stay up to date on the latest uploads. Also, if you haven't given, we do welcome donations. And if you haven't checked the description box, you might want to, because there are some books that get into relationships and family down there that I have written. And I tell you, I am being straight up with you. I'm being transparent, and it's written so that a ninth grader can read it. Okay. So there's not a lot of big words and all that that's in these books, but I want some of you all to get the books so that you can be able to implement some things, because I'm not always uploading things about relationship and family, and the Lord has been moving on my spirit to talk about some other subject matter. So if you want to go deep when it comes to relationship and family types of topics, I suggest that you be alerted to my playlist that's on YouTube, NM Enterprise 7, that deals with relationship and family challenges. And then also get the books. And I do get into relationships over there on Your Listen. And my podcast over there is Messages for the Soul. So there you have it. Blessings to you. Thank you as always for showing your support.